Hello, my name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And you're listening to another installment of Anime Plus. This time around, we're going to be doing a season of episodes discussing Haruhi Suzumiya in honor of its 20th anniversary. The narrative character for Haruhi is the monogamous named Kyon. His high school career starts off rather inauspicious until the introduction of the girl behind him declaring her name is Haruhi and that she is only interested in time travelers, space aliens, and people with extrasensory perception powers, ESP, espers. The strangeness of Haruhi kind of attracts Kyon's attention. More, he's baffled. And he finds out that one of his classmates, who he becomes friends with, Taniguchi, went to middle school with Haruhi. And he warns her that she may be pretty and pretty smart and really good at sports, but as he's seen demonstrated, she's insane and very unapproachable. He talks about how she was the one behind a famous incident a few years ago where in the middle of the night, she snuck into her school's yard and using one of the devices that they use to paint lines on sports fields to draw some strange symbol covering the entire playground area. But it doesn't deter Kyon from interacting with the girl that sits behind him because he's observing her strange behavior, like how she changes her hairstyle every single day. Or how every day she joins a new club, excels at it, and then promptly quits the club to do it again the next day. And then he makes the mistake of talking to her and asking her about the hair thing, realizing that it is determined with a numerical system tied to the days of the week. Haruhi is surprised by his astute observation, and that's when Kyon's life changes.
She quickly adopts him.
Even though he's not an alien or an esper or a time traveler, she begins to talk with him, much to his regret. Pretty quickly in the school year, they change seats, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get away from her. This is gonna be great. Only for that to not be correct, and the only thing that happens is they just move into the standard position for main characters in an anime.
The window seat.
In the back, by the window, with Haruhi still sitting behind him.
That happens a lot in anime.
It's a trope. Resigned to his fate, he continues to interact with the strange girl. So, the life-changing and terrible choice that Kyon makes is he suggests the idea of Haruhi creating her own club because she apparently is unsatisfied with the choices in their high school. This sparks joy in Haruhi,
which is danger for Kyon.
And she drags Kyon into her antics. At the end of class, the next day.
Yes.
She drags him to a less used portion of the school facilities, which is essentially relegated to club rooms.
It's called the old building. To
find a largely barren room with a solitary girl quietly reading. And Haruhi declares that this is their club room. Kyon keeps pushing back at her. There's somebody already here. This is the literature club's room. And, well, there's only one member, which is the girl whose name is Nagato Yuki. And Nagato is more than willing just to let things happen as they happen. So Haruhi, being the alpha male that she is, gets her way and creates the club room. But it's only two of them. So the following day, she recruits another member to the club, a second-year student by the name of Asahina Mikuru, who Haruhi forces to join their activities, purely because she represents the character archetype of Moe, which does work on Kyon, and
slash Lolita.
And he feels a strong sense of must protect the cute girl. So the club now has 3 members, technically 4, with Yuki, but it needs a 5th member. But before that, they have to figure out the name for it. And the name of the club is the Suzumiya Haruhi SOS Club.
SOS Brigade.
SOS Brigade. My apologies. Oh my God, I should know that. The SOS Brigade.
Damn. Who watched the show?
Yeah.
Fun fact, Steve's doing this off memory. He didn't actually watch the first 2 episodes.
I don't remember what SOS stands for, but it's essentially like
spreading excitement all over the world with Haruhi Suzumiya Brigade,
which is undefinable. So in the process of building the groundwork of the SOS Brigade, Nagato vaguely communicates with Kyon. The end of the second episode is him meeting her at a park, and she takes him to her apartment, which is devoid of life and anything else, where she tells him that she is an alien. Or more precisely, she is a construct used as a intermediary between this cosmic being and humanity, and that she is there to study Haruhi. So, at this point, we have Haruhi establishing her club of whatever her whim dictates, Kyon being dragged into it, Asahina being dragged into it against her will, and then the space alien interface, Nagato, being there and going along with the flow because apparently it's her duty. Now, keep in mind, I've watched Haruhi Suzumiya a lot. I've read all the light novels, so I'm very, very well versed in the story. David, however, this is technically his first romp through the series. Years ago, when we first started watching anime together, I showed him a little bit of it, but that was long enough ago that he doesn't really remember what happened. So
Haruhi is a tour de force. She is queen. She is hilarious. She's also a pervert, unintentionally.
No, very intentional.
Fair. She uses women to get to her own ends.
I forgot the second episode was her blackmailing the computer club into forking over their best PC for her to use for whatever purposes.
She is not above blackmail, nor using women to get to her goals.
Correct. All that matters in Haruhi's world is that she's entertained. She's just trying to fight off boredom. She is bored with the real world.
She is.
She wants spectacle.
She's just a girl. If this took place like now, her catchphrase would just be, I'm just a girl.
If I remember correctly from the light novels, the story is set in 98 or 99, I believe.
Yeah, because they definitely have the shorts for gym class.
So Haruhi is the story itself, the franchise, is a tour de force as well. It came out at the very apex, or the beginning of the apex of Kyoto Animation's dominance. And this is in a time where they were beginning to take their place in the apex of respect in the anime fandom community. So Haruhi itself, the franchise, is a huge component of the dawning of otaku as a cultural phenomenon in Japan, and which translated into the rest of the world. So I forget the name of it, but the dance routine that they do in the end credits. So this was like the early days of YouTube, and people replicating the dance was everywhere on YouTube. It was a huge phenomenon. Haruhi is nothing more than a phenomenon. Between both its cultural impact within anime in general and the character herself.
Yeah, I really much enjoyed the first 2 episodes. Very entertaining. Haruhi is funny. I feel really bad for their senpai. Mikuru, yeah. Kyon. This
is Kyon's own doing.
Yes. Like, I could feel bad for Kyon, but he kind of did this to himself. So, not really. I don't really feel bad for him. He just keeps going along with it. I'm like, homie, you don't have to. She's not holding a gun to your head.
All right, so Nagato, though. What do you think about her revelation that she is not human?
The insanity that Suzumiya puts off, I'm not surprised.
Because I will tell you now, this is not a typical slice of life school story.
When you told me that it was originally broadcasted, was the first 2 episodes were the end?
The first season of Haruhi was intentionally jumbled up in the storyline. Parts of it are arcs that take place after events of the second season, and within that, the episodes are all mismatched. So the first episode that aired was them showing a film they made for the cultural festival called The Adventures of Mikuru Asahina, which doesn't take place until near the end of the story. It's not the exact end, but it's pretty close to the end. So I remember when I watched the first episode when it came out, I hated it because nothing made sense. The animation is actually them recording it on a video camera. So it's terrible quality. And it's just the most ridiculous, low budget, whatever. Because, they're students making a film. And I was not into it. A couple weeks go by, the internet's exploding about Haruhi. So of course, I have to return back into it. And by the time I watched the second episode, which is the first episode, I was sucked in. But that first episode was a hard landing for being like, oh, this is cool. I want to watch this because nothing made sense and it looked terrible. The series itself, while much loved and lauded, does have some community complaint. And a lot of those are due to Kyoto's handling of transferring the light novel stories into animation, particularly the Endless Eight. And it is, in my opinion, one of the most interesting moves an anime production company has ever made. And I love it. Kyoto's decision to jumble up the entire storyline in the first place is insanity. And I love it because everything about Haruhi is unconventional. And Kyoto went and kicked it up to such a high degree above and beyond how the light novels portray the story that it further ingrained the unconventionalness of the story itself. You're in for a ride.
Oh boy.
Fortunately, though, I don't think it's going to be as impactful or as earth-shattering because David's already watched the Rascal Does Not Dream series. And even though they're very different stories, Rascal and Haruhi, in my mind, are similar to each other. They're like akin to each other. And I think Rascal does a better job. They're really not similar, though. I just make that artificial connection myself. So thanks again as we begin our 13-week journey of Haruhi Suzumiya. Woo! Wrapping up with one of my favorite movies in the anime universe. And Yeah, we'll see what kind of brain damage Haruhi can do to David, because it's a coming.
No, don't. I already have too few brain cells.
Don't forget the regular episodes of the podcast that come out on Fridays. It's a brand new season, so we got brand new shows. We're talking about the insane romantic comedy Kirio Fan Club, the insane homage/mockery to everything shonen that is Rooster Fighter, and the brand new epic adventure tale by the author of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is called Demons of the Shadow Realm. So those are on Friday. First episode drops this Friday, so check it out. Hit the ground with us running on these brand new shows. And we will check you next week for episodes 3 and 4 of the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Deuces.